So, hello, and welcome back to Nicole Myths, Astrology and Tarot. Please be aware, if you are new to the channel, I do not sugarcoat my messages and I have no filter. So, for all of you that say,
I want the truth!
Some of you absolutely can and will handle the truth here just fine. Others of you, well,
you can't handle the truth!
At least not yet, and that's okay. I trust when you're ready, you'll find yourself back here liking my videos as a subscriber in divine time. For those of you who are self-aware enough to stay and listen, drop a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. With that said, always take readings how they resonate with you. If you are confused about the message of a reading, I always recommend coming back in about 2 weeks' time and seeing it with different eyes. Most of the time, if you're confused about a reading, you're trying to connect it with a scenario that it's not actually pertaining to. So no matter how tempting it is to listen to this and try and connect the dots to someone else in your experience, understand they're in your experience because of something you are learning through witnessing them to begin with as a divine mirror. So no matter how tempting it is to connect it to someone else, know that I am always reading it to help you better understand yourself and your own healing. Also know, if you look at the image, it represents the 12 houses of your birth chart. Okay, so we all have all of them. If I note certain astrological signs or planets, it's either because that is what is specifically healing in your chart right now or is being recognized in the reading as the area that is healing, or it is being aspected by the different things going on in the current cosmos that's bringing it up. So just because I say a certain sign and it's not your sign does not mean it's someone else. It's most likely a certain area in your chart that's being acknowledged, or it's a certain aspect going on in the current cosmos that is reflecting on the different healings going on in your own chart. Now I'm ready if you're ready. So let's begin. I have a special truth key reading for you today. Okay. We start in the center, which represents the self. It is the Strength card and the Star card. And what I noticed about this card, this combination of cards, right, is that in the Strength card, there is the sun radiating behind her. And in the Star card, it is the light of the moon radiating behind her. And so we have this full sun, full moon, kind of balanced yin and yang, day and night energy within the self that's truly action-oriented and receptive. If you look closely at the Strength card, the lion, which represents the ego and pride in the self, is chained. It has a collar on and it is chained like it's on a leash. And the feminine and its armor is radiant, right? It's radiant. And it has these flags of what is essentially almost like a claimed self in trust, in spirit, that's present. It reminds me of Athena. And if we think about the goddess Athena, Athena is a goddess of war, but she is not the aggressor, right? Aries or Mars is the god of war and provokes as an aggressor, right? Will initiate war or battle. But Athena is a defensive strategist. She will not start a fight, but she will win one. You know what I mean? She will not start the fight, but she will win it. So looking at that energy, being in this healing space with the self, with the Star card, because the Star card is definitely a healer. And, you know, this is Leo and Aquarian energy. This is Leo and Aquarian energy, and we're dealing with this full moon in Leo tomorrow while the sun's in Aquarius. They're polar opposite signs, right? Sister signs. They balance each other. This Leo and Aquarius energy that's come out with the Strength card and the Star card representing the self is something going on collectively at the moment where people are recognizing what they must do in order to receive what they wish to receive, whether it's something new that they've never had before or something that they've had and lost and need to try and regain, right? Because we all have woundings and we all make mistakes. Sometimes, well, people don't know what they have until it's gone. That's just life, right? But there's this theme of silencing the ego, or needing to silence the ego and claim a trust of self and heart that you are capable of receiving what you deserve to receive in your healing, that you deserve to heal, right? That you can silence your ego, hopefully permanently, so that you can simply be one with your own divine soul and receive what is meant for you beyond the pain, beyond the karmic wounds, in your healed state, right? When you let the pain of the past go, when you let the judgments of past go. So, if we look to the past, the recent past, to the left of the Strength card and the Star card, we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands here, it shows a bitter, almost a bitter-looking masculine energy who, if it's not bitter, then it's conniving, okay? Then it's scheming. It's someone who had an ulterior motive. Or someone who had very personally driven motives. Someone's sitting up on his high castle, okay? Someone who handles their affairs with white gloves. They handle it very delicately. I feel like there's a meticulousness about them. They're very careful and calculating. Okay, it's just the energy I'm pulling off this card. Very careful and calculating. They hold the world in their hands, and they treat it very delicately. And this is in the past, right? This is in the recent past. This person or this energy within the self didn't know whether to stay or go. And when I say stay or go, it might be literally staying or going. But it might also be a staying in my pain or moving into my healing, right? And it looks as if they had sat down and decided to stick with their pain, right? It looks as if they had decided to stick with their pain. Above and below the self. Above and below the self. Because this is what we're healing out of, right? This is what we're coming out of. If someone was meticulous and very, very smart, almost manipulative, okay? If someone is extremely smart and manipulative, and you've left them in the past, and you are now, because if they wouldn't get off their pain tower, then you most definitely did. You went for a walk. You know what I mean? And consciously, above and below the self, consciously above the self is the Sun card. And I think you're shining in this kind of fool energy, this I don't know where life is taking me energy, but, I'm willing to go on the journey with myself. And there's that masculine and feminine in union. They're both, holding a shared bouquet, like they're connected through nature. It's your nature, right, to be connected to the self. The sun is shining with the Fool and the Sun. However, below, right, what's going on below is the Ten of Swords. And there's a part of you that feels sincerely betrayed. Okay, since I feel like there's sincere betrayal, especially on the feminine side of the equation. Okay, whether that's your heart space or you're the female in the dynamic, right? Because we have this masculine energy in the past, we have this dual energy, on the conscious mind and within the self, but the heart space itself or the feminine aspect feels very betrayed, very stabbed in the back, probably multiple times over. There's lots of things that can count as betrayal. It could be something very obvious like being cheated on. It could be something like lies. There's lies being told about you, or misconceptions, or purposeful misleading with people that you loved and trusted who are believing in these lies, or whatever the case may be, that you feel betrayed by the people you considered either true family, or you felt like they would never actually turn on you like you thought they knew you, right? You thought they knew you better, and then all of a sudden, they're believing whatever lies or misconceptions are being allowed to be perceived, right? Because it's just as bad if someone assumes something and someone knows the truth and allows them to believe their false perception or feeds into the false perception, right? Knowing that it's untrue. Instead of saying, no, they would never do that, they allow the misperception. So there's these different types of betrayal that are going on below the surface. And the self, right? The self is very aware of it. The self is very aware of it. All we want to do is shine. All we want to do is be in the space that we were in before life wounded us, before life tainted us, going back to the innocence within the self. That's all anybody really wants. They don't want to be in the state of feeling betrayed. They don't want to feel like they should be in the state of betraying another who doesn't truly deserve it just because they're bitter at life, right? In general. They're just bitter at life, and they're angry at themselves and taking it out on other people. People that don't deserve it, right? That's where the self is, with the beginning of the truth key. Truth is, we just want to be happy, and we just want to be healed, and we don't want to deal with manipulative people that we have to free ourselves from, and then deal with the backlash of their continued betrayal, spreading falseness or treating us in a way that's undeserving. So we get into the near future, and there's two different ways this line of truth is going to transpire as we move into the following 4 cards to the right of the self. We have the near future, how the near future develops, a more distant future from that development and the outcome, and then below those 4 cards towards the end we have the why the outcome is the way it is. And then the karma of Cthulhu is the keyhole, or what awaits on the other side, right? What spirit is trying to help you unlock and see and move into with the truth that comes from this reading, okay? We have these beautiful soulmates with the 2 of Cups. We do. We have these beautiful soulmates with the 2 of Cups. This inner union, right? We're going through the healing right now with the sun and the moon. We are going through this ego silencing and the embracing of our moon sign when it is completely lit by our sun sign. Because the sun lights the full moon, in case y'all forgot. The moon itself has no light that radiates from it. It only reflects the light of the sun. So as we allow our sun signs, the beauty and the light of our sun signs, to reflect in the light or the beauty of our moon signs, we find this beautiful inner balance within the self. This acceptance of the self, this compassion for the self, and to be completely fair, almost a sense of nervousness, you know, that loving the self is something that we've never done. It's uncharted territory. And I mean true 100% in love with the self, being whole. Being whole. That they would be able to look at each other and understand each other. The feminine and the masculine. The mind and the heart. That the mind can look at the heart and know it's been through pain. And that the heart can look at the mind and say, I know what feels good. Please choose it for me. Because the heart can't choose. The mind has to do it. The masculine aspect within the self is the shot calling aspect. The heart can feel whatever it wants, but the mind has to check off on it. It has to give the go ahead. So the heart is, in fact, the feminine aspect in the self is, in fact, looking at the masculine aspect of the mind with this pleading, almost this pleading look of please, please choose what feels best for me. And the mind is the masculine aspect is looking back at the feminine and saying, don't worry, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. I will choose what I know you love to feel. I will go after it. I will take the steps. I will make the changes. I will choose better, right? I will choose better choices so that you don't feel hurt again. This is the agreement between the mind and the heart within the self. This is occurring in the near future, right? If you're not already feeling it occur. There's an agreement between the mind and the heart. Because the mind knows it doesn't feel good to choose things that hurt the heart. It doesn't feel good. And to be completely fair, the mind might be fucking tired of hearing the heart complain about how hurt it is. You know, it's like the heart can't choose and the mind is making all these choices. And if the heart hurts, it won't shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? The heart won't shut the fuck up. Like, motherfucker, you're hurting me. These choices you're making fucking hurt me. It results in pain. The choices you're making or made in the past resulted in pain. Why do you keep doing it? Why? What is your point? What is the point if your heart's in pain? And this is the conversation we're having with the self. And so we enter into the Fool card, which is the development, right? The development of the near future. And now we have the moon, right? Radiating behind the Fool. And the Fool is wearing the same kind of makeup, at least on one half of the face, as the Sun card. The other eye holds a tear. It knows, the Fool knows that fear is trying to mess with its mind. That the fear or the shadow is saying, I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to get you, away from being vulnerable, because if you're vulnerable, it might hurt. You might be rejected, right? There's this fear state there. Don't reconcile things. Don't fix things. Don't correct your mistakes. Forget it. Leave it in the past. Move forward. Don't reconcile. Don't fix it. Don't own your mistakes. There's a fear there, walking right beside you. It's playing on your pain. Don't admit the truth. Never do it. Don't do it. You'll be ridiculed. You'll be bashed. You'll be judged. You will never be forgiven. I'm going to tell you right now. The fear can say that all it wants, but I've always said to people, I can work with the truth. I can't work with your lies. And spirit's no different. Spirit's no different. Spirit loves an honest heart who can own their mistakes. Spirit can love and forgive anything. It's us that don't forgive ourselves. We don't forgive ourselves for the mistakes we made. We don't forgive ourselves for the betrayals that we've committed. We have to make right with those. Or we will keep punishing ourselves. We have to move past the fear and just simply own when we were in separation with the self and our mind and heart were not seeing eye to eye, and the mind was making choices. The divine masculine within the self was making choices that hurt the heart space. We have to forgive ourselves for times when the mind stopped caring about the repercussions the choices were going to have on the heart. We have to forgive ourselves for our moments of inner separation, when we were not in touch with our heart. It's the only way to stay in union. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to own up to our mistakes. We have to. We have to. And it's going to be difficult. Okay? It's going to be difficult because a part of us absolutely wants to move forward down the path of what the soul truly wants. And the other part of us wants to forget what the soul wants and forget that there's healing that needs to take place, and we want to just start a new chapter and forget. There's a difference between being patient and ignoring something. There is a difference. If you owe someone an apology, if you owe someone truth, I'm telling you right now, if you're catching this in divine time, there is no better time than the present. What are you waiting for? You needed a sign from Spirit to reach out to someone and apologize and admit the truth and own it, no matter what the fuck their reaction is, because you've got to make it right on your soul. Well, here's your sign. And if you have truly been betrayed and you have truly committed no wrong you could possibly rack your mind about, you can run through every choice you've made and you really can't think of one that you have not reconciled, that you have not owned up to, then be patient. Then be patient, because Spirit is obviously working on the people who have, if any, committed wrongs against you. No matter how they validated the wrong at the time, a wrong is still a wrong. A wrong is still a wrong. You know, people could tell 1 million people a lie, but a lie is still a lie. And all 1 million people can believe it's the truth, but the lie is still a lie. And if you know it's a lie, and the person spreading the lie knows it's a lie, it doesn't matter how many people believe the lie, because Spirit also knows it's a lie. Spirit knows. Spirit knows, and Spirit doesn't miss it. Karma is a real thing. Karma is a real thing. Depending on which way you go with the Fool. If you choose inner union and you choose self-acknowledgement, you choose self-ownership, you choose to approve of the self, righting wrongs, because no matter how much you validated it and rectified it for yourself at the time that what you're doing was justifiable, if it was wrong, it was still wrong in your soul and you know it, or it wouldn't still be bothering you. Depending on where you were with the Fool card, we hit the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is choices. choices. There's a lot of things in these cups. Look closely so that you don't miss the details, because the sun is shining. The sun is shining. Do you choose the hard lesson to repeat a previous cycle over again where life fucking bites you in the ass? Because that's in one cup. Do you choose money? Do you choose to focus on money and ignore all the other beautiful things in life? Do you choose to focus on the ghosts of your pasts? The ghosts that haunt you? Do you choose the victory, the win, because that's in a cup? Going for the gold, the victory's in a cup. Do you choose the castle? Do you choose to focus on the home, even if there's nobody there to share it with you? Do you choose the unattainable goal? Do you choose to go for someone who you know is completely out of your league, knowing that it will only result in disappointment? When I say out of your league, I mean they're not in your spiritual circle. They're not actually a part of your story. And so you're going after someone whose eyes are shut to you, they don't see you. Do you go after the unattainable? Someone who is above your vibration. Thinking you could stay on your level of vibration and they'll see you, because they won't. If someone's at a higher vibration than you, they will not see you. Or do you choose the red dragon, which is the chaotic, evil narcissist who controls everything in your life? Who's unpredictable and yet predictable in their tyranny? There's a lot of choices. What's your alignment? What's your alignment? Do you want to repeat the karmic lessons of your past? Do you want to keep repeating cycles? Do you want something new and wildly unpredictable that is only going to wreak havoc in your world? Do you want to nix relationships altogether and build in what is emotionally and spiritually empty? Do you want what is unattainable? Or do you want the win? Do you want the victory? Because that's the choices you're facing. The outcome is justice. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you're the person watching this that knows they've been through scenarios or situations in which they deserved better and freed yourself and got yourself in union and chose the victory. Justice is justice. You will absolutely receive what is fair for you. Same applies if you are the person who absolutely committed wrongs against people in the past and didn't own up to your shit and are still dealing with the subconscious self-loathing. You will choose the snake. You will choose the ghost of the past. You will choose what is spiritually empty. You will choose the evil chaos of a controlling narcissist. Because what's fair is fair. Justice is justice. And Lady Justice, with the blindfold, she doesn't care. She is the ultimate radiant light of the sun, okay? She doesn't care if you come off like a great person to a million people who believe your lies. She can see right through you without her eyes. She feels energy. Guilt is guilt. A liar is a liar. Ego is ego. Self-loathing is self-loathing. Distrust in your soul and spirit and being controlling is what it is. To betray someone who didn't deserve it is dishonorable. She sees it. To hold the lies in and deny them till the day you die, to take them to the grave, is cowardice. To lie and take it to the grave is cowardice. She will give you whatever your energetic alignment deserves. That's the cup you're going to pick. So if you're in alignment, trust you're in alignment. Justice is justice, and you will have a beautiful victory coming your way. Please rest assured in that. Why is the outcome justice? Because there is victory, 6 of Wands, over thieves and liars, the 7 of Swords. There is victory over liars. There is victory over energetic thieves. Spirit sees. If you look at that 7 of Swords, Spirit's eyes are in the sky. Spirit sees the thief. It doesn't matter what it looks like, especially if the energetic thief is a liar and posting all kinds of illusion. Speaking all kinds of illusion. Oh yeah, I'm happy. Oh yeah, I'm over it. Oh yeah, I met someone great. Blah, 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 blah. Yo, karma. Karma is either your best friend because you've got great karma coming, or karma is a royal CUNT in capital letters because you're a CUNT in capital letters. Takes one to know one, right? It takes a cunt to know karma is a cunt. It all comes down to yourself. What doesn't feel good? Choose what feels good. If it doesn't feel good in your soul to lie, don't. If it doesn't feel good to be afraid, then don't. If it doesn't feel good to carry guilt, then don't. If it doesn't feel good to pity someone, then don't. If it doesn't feel good to take what you know you don't deserve, then don't. If it doesn't feel good to hate yourself, then stop doing things that you hate yourself for. If it doesn't feel good to picture all of the different options on your path that you have by not choosing to be vulnerable and setting your pride aside, then I suggest you start looking at the options that open up to you after you take vulnerable actions to free yourself. If it feels good to trust that Spirit has your back, feel good, trust. If it feels good to create and be at peace, do that. If it feels good to be confident in who you are and your worth and your value, do that. If it feels good to love who you are and the choices you're making, that your heart is happy with your choices and where they get you, great. Do that. Keep doing that. If you're an honest person and you can speak the truth and you got no qualms about it, great. You're in alignment. If the path in your mind's eye unfolding is they're all beautiful options, great. You've chosen the right path. Because all you can see is great outcomes. If you've allowed yourself to be humble and learn the lessons that life has invaluably presented for you, that you can admit no matter how much you know nothing. At any given moment, you can realize you know nothing. That the ego should in fact stay on a chain. Great, because you're on the right path. The outcome is justice. And you don't need to create it. You don't need to try and force it. Spirit sees. Spirit sees. Now, the keyhole. What is on the other side of the door? Karma of Kutuhala. It says, your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail and you shall arise. Kutuhala is a Sanskrit term that translates as that which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it will lead us anywhere practical, following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. We often pursue what is sensible and secure. Yet, what could be more appropriate or divinely and delightfully inappropriate than pursuing a path so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit, that no matter what challenges arise, you feel so much love and commitment and passion you shall not turn away. That is the stuff of potential greatness. We might call it being led by our hearts. Kutuhala is permission to do just that. The shadow side, or unconscious pursuit, doesn't involve the heart, but rather the restless mind which acts from fear and avoidance rather than using passionate devotion as its foundation. The commitment that emerges out of true kutuhala is not about clipping one's wings, but about growing them and learning how to fly skillfully. Without commitment, one takes a leap, tries to fly, fails, and rather than going through the process again and again until there is understanding that leads to mastery, one tries innumerable other things, never giving any a chance to settle and evolve. There is inherent wisdom in kutuhala. Allow yourself to stumble, to not know, to become the holy mess that precedes sacred rebirth. Don't allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign a path isn't right for you and thus drag you away in search of a substitute paradise. We often think of karma as negative, but positive karma is our connection to guiding grace, the soul's delight that empowers us to live with joy and rapture. We can cultivate positive karma in the way we live our life from the heart, with forgiveness, a sense of worth, and gentleness in our hearts. Small steps can lead to great accomplishments when we stick to a path. Be patient in your passion and you shall go far. This oracle encourages you to recognize that in its own inimitable way, spirit is practical. It just tends to go via the delirious, astonishing, and deeply healing route. Trust what you love and let your heart lead you. You and your life shall become luminous, sanctified in the grace of alchemical transformation. An unexpected and miraculous arising is at hand. May all beings be guided lovingly to fulfill their highest divine destiny. What's on the other side of the door? Should we see and feel the truth and unlock it, is our highest divine destiny. There was a reading in Divine Timing I did the other day. It was just a picture and description post, but it talked about only one key opens the door to paradise. Only one. And it's the truth. Your heaven on earth, only one key opens the door to paradise, and it's the truth. And if you have nothing but truth, 100%, because 99 is not 100. If you know and can sit here beyond a doubt that you are in 100% truth, do not doubt the miracle coming to you, the beautiful victory coming to you. And if you're not in truth, and you're denying things to yourself or denying things to others, or making assumptions or whatever because it's easier to negate having to admit your own truth, that truth, quote unquote, that you're holding, that false truth that you're holding, it's not the key that opens the door. You can't create paradise somewhere else. There's only one. There's only one. Join your mind and heart in union within the self. Keep them together. Choose what creates your bliss. Choose what inspires you to create a beautiful future. Don't damn yourself to bullshit because you can't own up to your bullshit. And at the end of the day, justice is justice. Like, come on. Let the truth set you free. Let the truth open the door. Believe in miracles. Believe in miracles. Commit to your highest good path. And do not let anything or anyone dissuade you from it. Do not get discouraged. Trust that the door will open. So I have faith. I have faith that if this reading has caught you in divine time, it's only going to serve your highest good. Whether it's reaffirming for you that you're doing the best by yourself, capital S, that you're doing the best by who you are in soul and leading you to beautiful things. Or it's going to redirect you onto the path that you should be on, where you're creating beautiful things instead of painful things. My love and support is with you always, always. So, until next time, love each other, and most importantly, love yourself enough to open the door. Take care, everyone.